But first, I'll be joined shortly by Independent MP Dai, a genuine, fair income community independent, unlike the others, who's fighting to retain her seat of Fowler in Sydney's southwest. Now, to help you get a sense of her seat at home, we sent senior reporter Carolyn Marcus out to the electorate to file this report.
Dai doesn't hold back when describing her main threat, Labor's Tu Le.
Absolutely. I think Labor was tokenistic in its decision to pre-select somebody with a similar name to me, and that's all that she has.
The Independent holds the southwest Sydney seat of Fowler on a margin of just 1.4%. She'd snatched the once ultra-safe Labor seat at the last election after the party decided to parachute in former Senator Christina Keneally, pre-selecting her instead of Tu Le.
This time, they have put in a candidate targeting one specific ethnicity, thinking that's the only ethnic group that they need to appeal to.
A former child refugee, Dai was proud to become the first Vietnamese-Australian federal MP.
But I got elected not because of my Vietnamese heritage. I got elected because I am a local member who understand this community.
I think that's pretty disappointing, and I think we need to give voters more credit than that. I think they can distinguish between two very different people.
Tu says as part of a major party, she has more to offer voters.
People do want a strong voice. They want someone who can actually deliver and someone who is a strong voice in government.
The former lawyer and Labor staffer is also a second-time mum to newborn Matilda. Tu reveals her waters broke and she went into actual labour while campaigning at this local train station.
People are definitely seeing how hard I'm working and that I'm out in the community whilst I was pregnant, but also as soon as I've given birth.
Fowler has the highest density of Vietnamese Australians in the country. 16% of people here have Vietnamese ancestry, another 11% Chinese. Their top concern is the same as the rest of the country's.
Cost of living's gone up. Cost of living important because the price changing every year, every month.
Because everything expensive. It's hard to buy a house or a car or furniture.
Both candidates are campaigning hard on easing financial pressures. Caroline Marcus, Sky News Sydney.
Joining me now in Sydney here is Dai. Dai, great to have you on the program.
Thanks, Peter.
I have to say, you were one of the first MPs I saw really early on talking about cost of living, talking about just, like down to groceries, filling up the car. We've talked a lot about power bills, but the really practical household level difficulties people are going through. It's real for you. How do issues like, say, work from home factor for your seat?
Look, I was the first in Parliament to ask a question around the fuel excise tax cut, put it to the Prime Minister, to the Treasurer, because at the time we were getting a lot of excise tax from fuel. And I said, what were they going to do about it to assist with the cost of living? That was my first question, I remember, in Parliament. Nerve-wracking it was. And so for my community at the moment, cost of living such as energy bills for a business has gone from September 2024, earlier, from about $4,000 to about $9,000, $12,000 in energy bills. So that's a lot for a small business on a monthly bill. Insurance gone up, grocery prices have gone up. So people are talking about practical things that are impacting them on a day-to-day basis. The work from home, the majority of our people actually work in factories, retail workers, they're nurses, they're truck drivers. They are the engine, I believe, of New South Wales. They are the economic engine of New South Wales. They don't have the luxury to work from home.
No, work from home is a middle-class job where you can work from your kitchen with a laptop, and I'm not being disparaging about it, but it doesn't apply to most jobs in parts of Western Sydney. If they are hurting, are they blaming Labor and the Prime Minister for their pain?
Look, in my door knocking that I have done over the last 12 to 18 months, a lot of people have obviously very frustrated that Labor have not delivered for them in terms of interest rates have gone up 13 times, and of course we've had the reduction of 1, but there's still that 12 rises. So people with mortgages are still feeling that pain. And gas, a lot of our small businesses use gas as a means to obviously provide services, restaurants and all that stuff. Insurance have gone up. So people are still saying, what is the government doing for us? So they acknowledge the government has provided some small form of relief through the energy rebate, but they know it's just a very short term and one-off. It's not a long-term solution to the pains that our community are currently feeling. Mums and dads, people driving cars, people owning 3 to 4 cars, having to take their kids to school, dropping their parents off to see a doctor, driving long distances to work and paying tolls along the way on top of paying expensive fuel. So there are many things that I think Western Sydney, and in particular people in Fowler and families, are experiencing that many in other places in the other electorates are not feeling. And they might be able to afford the rise in insurance, in energy bills, in other electorates, but in our community it's often choosing between heating up, especially winter around the corner, or feeding your family and putting food on the table, going to work, and making all of those balancing, trying to weigh up what's best for the families. And families are very big in our community in Fowler. And in West
family
Sydney.
sizes too, and extended families are the one
Huge, huge.
The ghost of Christina Keneally still looms over the seat of Fowler for Labor, and we know it does because when the Prime Minister was out there just the other day, he had to basically apologise for parachuting in Christina Keneally.
Yes.
Now he said he had nothing to do with it.
Well, it was captain's pick. My understanding, it was captain's pick. So I know that the Prime Minister, it was the decision to have Christina Keneally there. So look, if he acknowledged it was his mistake, that's great. You know, you as a leader, you would have to often acknowledge if you made a mistake and own up to that. That's good if he did acknowledge that. But I know that it was a captain's pick. So he picked that, and now back then he did not want the current candidate he's picked, so she's a second choice. So there's no way we're now expecting to get a second choice, that Labor's second choice, to be our candidate. So I think we need to respect our community, and he needs to respect our community better and not take our community for granted, because I think in doing this, in giving us their second choice, Labor's second choice, once again, they're thinking that we're second-class citizens. And I think that our community deserves better than that.
Just quickly, what about the Greens? How much are they playing into politics in Fowler?
Look, they don't play that much into Fowler at all, but I think my warning is that the Labor and the Greens are really going to be bad because, you know, Greens will preference Labor. So that combination of Labor and Greens, how would that impact our economy and our society? And that is something that I think from our community is going to be quite concerning.
Good luck in the campaign, Dai.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.